Proud to wear a hat today that was given to me by Dennis Scuderi. Dennis is the head coach down at Piscataway High School. And it is a hat that he and his staff brought today from the Brigantine Police Department. And it's really an honor for me to wear it. I have so much of my family that are police, fire, mostly in New York. But one of the things we're going to do in conjunction with the spring game this year is we've gotten some of these hats from around the state, and our coaching staff and our other personnel on the sideline will wear these hats as just one more way to honor the people that are in these towns and in these cities affected by Hurricane Sandy and need our help. And sure enough, Bill Ammond, who works with Dennis down there at Piscataway, their defensive line coach, he was one of the people actually directly affected. I believe he lost pretty much all of his house down there in that area. So any way we can find to continue to help, we will do that. It was an honor for us as a program to be down at the White House yesterday as part of their White House Champions of Change program. I know a lot of people have seen the press release at this point, but to be included with the other people that were honored for us as a university and us as a football program, it was a great day for us. And I think something that, as we go forward, we understand the people in this state, they need more help than just what's going to happen this Saturday. This Saturday is important to us, but the help needs to go on long past that for it really to have the effect that we want it to have around our state. Shifting gears to the spring game and to spring practice, a little bit of an update. You didn't see P.J. James out there today, and really any of the players you didn't see out there today will not go in the spring game, including Dante Ayers, who has a high ankle sprain, and long-term prognosis, he'll be fine, but will not be able to go on Saturday. The one that we are optimistic about still that I think you'll see in the spring game is Kevin Marquez. I think he'll be ready to go. And one last announcement before I take questions. Our spring captains for the game for the Scarlet team will be Gary Nova and Chase Dodd, and for the white team will be Mike Bamonte and Blake Rankin. Questions?
The teams are split up then for the spring game, or where do things stand with that?
The teams will be split up for good this afternoon. We wanted to wait till after this practice because if a couple of people go down and we got to get some injury updates, it could affect how you do it. So we'll make the finalization this afternoon.
Another day with the offensive line, that new look. How is things shaping up there so far?
I think we're moving in the right direction. I'm pleased with some of the moves that we've made, and I'm also optimistic that some of the people that have maybe moved down the depth chart a little bit or reps have been decreased, now after the spring game, they'll have an opportunity from that point until we come back from training camp to really get back and get ready to battle for those positions again. But I think Keith Lumpkin at left tackle has had 2 good days. I think Caleb Johnson has had 2 good days at left guard. So I think we're moving in the right direction.
What are you seeing from Chris Muller at right guard? He's one of the guys that's been getting more time since these changes.
Chris Muller is a very powerful, strong athlete. The biggest hurdle he's going to have to get over is he's still adjusting to the speed of the game. Now, he's a lot further along now than he was practice 1. But I think by the time we get ready to line up and play our first game next year, I'm confident that he'll be ready to play in that game, possibly as a starter and possibly as somebody who is rotating into the game. But I think Chris has got a bright future here.
Will you be able to do everything you want in the running game in the spring game with the limited number of backs you have available?
I think what we're going to have to do is format the spring game so we get what we want out of it. I don't think we will be able to run the ball 60 times in the spring game. I think that there'll be, with the depth at running back, I think we could have some issues. Now, I think what you're also going to see is I think you're going to see other people are going to get a chance to run the ball. I think you're going to see Michael Burton's going to get a chance to run the ball. Sam Bergen is going to get a chance to run the ball. Kevin Marquez is going to get some opportunities to run the football. And then we've got some special young people that are going to be with us at the end of the game who are going to be very anxious to run the football for sure.
Cal, is most of the evaluation done, or do you view the spring game as a big evaluation?
I view the spring game as a big evaluation. I think you got to finish. Whatever the task is. And for us right now, it's spring practice, and we've been through 14 practices to this point. And I think it's important for every player on our team to go out there and finish. And football is a collision sport, and you better be ready to play when you hit that sideline in that stadium on Saturday afternoon at 3 o'clock. I have no doubt that our players will be, and we certainly will look at it afterwards and evaluate the performances.
You guys, since camp is over, spring practice is over, biggest surprise / most improved?
Well, we do give those awards out on Saturday, so I don't want to tip my hand, but I think at a number of positions, I've been very I've been very pleased at a number of positions at the way some of the freshmen who redshirted have been able to come on. I think some of those players on the offensive line are good examples of that. Chris Muller, J.J. Denman, Derek Nelson, they're moving their way up the depth chart. And I saw some good things out of Ryan Brody today. And Brandon Archdiacono is going to be a good football player for us. Every player's got to run their own race. And in time, if they continue to work, they'll be productive. But guys like Desmond Peoples, Ruhan Peel, Carlton Agadosi to stay on offense a little bit, that's been exciting. These last two practices, we've been able to give the young quarterbacks more reps. Guys like Blake Rankin, Chris Laviano. And today might have been really Blake's best day. Probably Tuesday might have been Chris Laviano's best day. So in some ways, I've been really pleased with all those. I will withhold my final decisions, although those have been made already, until we get to Saturday.
Got time for two more?
How delicately do you have to handle a situation with somebody like Antoine Lowry, who's been a starter here, is an older guy, and now is not seeing as many reps because you're trying other guys? Especially as an old offensive line coach, you know how these guys can be affected. How delicate is that situation?
I don't think you can handle those situations delicately. I don't think delicate applies in that. I think this is a performance business. I think the coaches understand that. I think the players understand that. And every day they go out there, they have to be ready to compete for their jobs. And I think Antoine will do that. I think he'll respond, and he will be a better player in August because of it. And from personal experience, I can tell you, Art Forst played his best football his senior year. And at times, his career before that was a little bit of a roller coaster ride. And I was really proud of the way he fought through that. And I think those are lessons that we want the players to carry with them far past their football careers. So I don't think you can handle them delicately. I think the players have to come out and compete, and then we have to evaluate them based on what we see.
Has there been any separation in the kicking game?
I don't think so. I think both kickers have been about the same this spring. And we'll go back and we'll look at the charting from each day, and we'll see exactly who made what from where and how many times. But I've been pleased with both. I think both have done it in games. I think we're fortunate to have two.
Thanks, Kyle.
Thank you.